Oh my god, you're fucking crazy!
What is up, you smexy individuals? My name is Birdman778 and welcome to another build video. Today we're doing the second episode of our endgame series, and this is Devilish Boyo Zane.
Maybe you should take it slow this year. Yes, that's the part you always show. You're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We're reaching for.
Now, if you want to see these builds being made, make sure you're checking out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Birdman778. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you head on over there. I have some other streams sprinkled in between there as well, so make sure you stay up to date on my social media feeds, twitter.com/Birdman778, instagram.com/BirdmanGraham, and obviously here on YouTube, youtube.com/Birdman778. Give it a thumbs up, a sub, and let's get going. So the reason why we call this our Devilish Boyo Zane is because the main weapon we're going to be using for this build is the Soul Renderer. The Soul Renderer is a doll AR that can be found in DLC 2, Guns, Love, and Tentacles, when fighting Tom and Zam. The red text, picture a soul, now rend that thing. The whole point of this weapon is as you're shooting it, it will fire skull projectiles that as they make contact with enemies, they will explode, and they're also homing. So even if you're shooting one enemy, there's times like they'll veer off to the side and hit somebody else, but regardless, it's going to be doing a lot of damage if you're doing a single target. I really wanted to make use of this because I saw this a lot in DLC 2, and it was super interesting to me, and just being able to take this now into what is a couple months later and making it useful is super awesome in my mind. But one thing to kind of like think about for this entire build is it is a URAD build, and by URAD I mean that 50% health, deal 150% bonus radiation damage. We're running that here on our Soul Renderer, our redundant reflux, our redundant brainstormer, and then we have a molten backburner, but that has ASE splash. Obviously we want to have the URAD on that, but I mean a backburner is a backburner no matter how you put it and what anoint it has. It's still going to be doing a lot of damage. But I want to take advantage of this because it's something I haven't really seen many Zanes use. So taking this really boss gun and using it with Zane seems super interesting. So those are the 4 weapons we're going to be using. Each one of them actually has a different element. I did that intentionally because I just wanted to kind of have a build that was kind of all around. But you're going to notice with these, the Reflex and the Brainstormer, we kind of have a different thing for them, specifically as you're going to see the gameplay of the build. But we'll explain that more once we get to our skill tree. Equipment wise, we're doing a Transformer Digiclone Regen Health, a See and Dead class mod with splash damage, weapon damage, and shotgun damage, a cloning Hex with grenade throw, weapon grenade, action skill damage increase, and then a Snowdrift Deathless. Now the Deathless is obviously going to be the thing that's going back for all these URAD weapons. It helps keep our health down below that 50%, giving us that extra damage, but also increases our shield, that being the Transformer, which converts 100% of shock damage into shields and 40% chance to absorb bullets. I think this is something that can be really great for you. There's times with radiation damage that can hurt you, but once again, once we get into our skill tree, you're going to understand why this actually can really work for us. Now, in regards to our skill tree, the green skill tree is going to be the lowest on the tier, but it's one of the most important because we're running a barrier with it. Barriers essentially is what's going to be kind of keeping you alive the most. With this build, you want to keep it on you at all times because it's going to essentially give you that extra shell for your shield not to be broken, and so you're able to constantly keep up that damage. I actually got this idea from a good pal, Jiffy Nano. Check him out, twitch.tv/JiffyNano. Super great guy. but he kind of suggested, hey, maybe try use the barrier instead of maybe a sentinel. And it's been working out really well. We have 5 points in adrenaline, keep our action skill cooldown rate up, and then also ready for action from the off chance that your shield gets broken in any way, shape, or form. It's able to regen pretty fast. And then we also have confident competence, get that extra gun damage and accuracy. Our action skill augments is all arounder, so we get that back shield essentially, and then also charged relay, so we get that movement speed and reload speed. The all-rounder is also something you can kind of take advantage of when you're using your clone in this build. You can drop it down and both you kind of stay inside and do some damage. But unfortunately, if you stay inside the shield, it's going to take away from parts of the blue tree. Speaking of blue tree, we have points in a violent speed, only 2 points because we're going to be taking advantage of Speed Demon. So you really don't need all that much. I didn't really want to go into Cold Bore. I feel like I'm not really swapping all that much my weapons, and the bonus cryo damage on one shot just didn't seem worth it personally. Violent momentum, keep up our gun damage as our speeds up. Again, that's where, like, if you have the all-rounder shield down, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that as well as just leaving your clone by himself and running around the map. 5 points in Cool Hand. I want that reload speed being as fast as possible. 1 in drone delivery, 1 to salvation. You got your clone kind of helping you out, so you only need that 1 point. 1 point deathfall is close, obviously. We have 3 points in violence. Most of these points are going to be coming from our See and Dead class mod. All 3 of them specifically. We're not really putting anything in there because you just don't really need to. But playing dirty, this is one I've always been liking. The fact that get that kill skill, get those extra 5 shots, have a chance to shoot an extra projectile. This is good for all of our weapons that we're using for this build. The Soul Render, essentially you're getting extra those homing projectiles, but also just like a bigger mag essentially. And then also the Reflux and the Brainstormer. And then 1 point of Good Misfortune. But again, we're not using Sentinel, we're going to Clone. Clone, we have Doppelbanger, so we're able to get that ASC, and then also which one's real, so that our clone essentially drawing aggro while we're able to run around the map. 5 points in Borrowed Time, 5 points Synchronicity, 5 points in Donnybrook, 1 to Quick Breather, 1 to Pocket Full of Grenades. Again, your clone's going to be up long enough that you don't really need to put that many points into it. You're going to get that grenade regen that will then eventually help out Boom Enhance. 1 to Old You, and then 3 to Supersonic Man, so we're getting that extra action skill speed. 3 points in the Trick of the Light, getting that extra cryo damage, because everyone, again, it's going to be aggroed on our clone because of which one's real, so you're getting just some extra damage there. And then Double Barrel, so our clone is able to also use whatever gun we're using. Now, again, this kind of goes back to the Brainstorm and the Reflux. Essentially, it's a who's got what kind of ability, you know? So if you give your clone a Reflux, you're going to be holding the Brainstormer, or vice versa. This is crazy good during the Malawan takedown, as you're going to see in the gameplay here soon. I really enjoy it. You just absolutely demolish mobs. Even going against the Valkyries, it absolutely just wrecks them. So it's something I've really been enjoying. In regards to our Mayhem modifiers, we're using Speed Demon. Obviously, this is going to be one of those that's really going to benefit the build in general. Giving us an extra speed, what gives us extra damage. Healy Avenger, so that you're able to get those quick ups if you go down, or just get some health off of them. I have ticked off right now. I just haven't re-rolled from one of my other classes, but at the same time, you're not really doing a whole lot of status effect damage, rather than just like doing the set element damage to the enemy. So it's really not that big of a deal at the moment. You probably could see some bigger ups from it if you changed it, but I don't want to reroll at this moment, but I recommend you should. And then post-mortem, just got to shoot death. Again, being able to take the Soul Render and actually give it a viable touch is super awesome to me, because again, I actually really like the ARs in the game. I think a lot of them are slept on, because certain weapons like the Monarch tend to be just so overpowered that we just kind of completely forget about everything else. I even think weapons like the OPQ have been kind of forgotten about, which you're going to be seeing a build here soon in regards to the OPQ. Might be called Atlas Army, I don't know. You might see a video later this week, but other than that, guys, thank you for coming by and checking out this build. If you have any questions, always come by my Twitch channel. Ask me, twitch.tv/Birdman778. Let me know in the comments down below, what is a weapon that you feel as though has kind of fallen off and could be endgame viable. I would love to get your opinion, so we're able to make some more of these cool builds for these endgame characters. But like I mentioned before, hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever it may be, and stay smexy.